Despite all the concessions that Kevin McCarthy has made, not only over the course of the past week, but also over the course of the past few weeks, despite all of those concessions, they say they're not voting for Kevin McCarthy.
Mr. President, Congress is still debating over the next round of stimulus payments. If they don't act, do you plan to step in?
Well, I'm going to have to, because we have to take care of our people. And the problem we have is that they're looking, the Democrats, to take care of states that have been poorly run. And they want to do bailout money, and it has nothing to do with Corona. It has to do with something much different, and that's years of neglect and not good management. And we don't want to do that.
How important is New Hampshire to your candidacy moving forward? And is there a path to the presidency if you fall short tomorrow?
Yes, there is a path to the presidency. It's called South Carolina, and it's called Nevada, and it's called the general election. If you notice, nobody who's ever lost has also continued to lead in the national polls across the board.
If you look at the map of the United States, there are cases all over the place, each of which is a little bit of an ember that can turn into a fire. That's what you have to worry about.
But I'll always be proud of the record of the Trump-Pence administration. But I know that by God's grace, I did my duty on that fateful day.
Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, was asked specifically about Giuliani's role, and here's what he said.
As a Secretary of State, we have lots of people out advocating, doing work on behalf of the United States of America, not all of which work for the Department of State directly, that aren't on our payroll. Private citizens often will make phone calls to me saying, hey, I just saw X. You might want to think about Y. I had a dinner just last night with some senior business leaders, private citizens, who are deeply engaged in the country that we're engaged with, and they gave me great insights of what is taking place.
Joe Biden will become the 46th president at noon Eastern time today, and his cabinet will not yet be confirmed, but that will happen in due course over the course of the next few weeks, maybe even over a shorter time period. The Senate has a lot of work to do once Joe Biden is sworn in as president.
But are we seeing more national politics coming into play in New Hampshire?
Well, yes, but you got to remember why the race got nationalized. The race got intentionally nationalized by the DNC. Now, I think it turned into an unintended consequence, but when they made the decision to allow national polls to impact how you got into a debate, then you all of a sudden made it a nationalized campaign.
Mark Manning pushes his father-in-law, Frank Shakespeare, along the grounds of the memorial erected in his honor. A Wisconsin hero, Shakespeare fought in the Navy during World War II. He went on to serve as U.S. ambassador to Portugal and the Vatican. Frank now struggles with dementia, but takes in the sights on a dreary D.C. day.
Not impeachable, but was it perfect or inappropriate, as some in your party have concluded?
Well, we had that debate for 3 weeks, and different senators reached different conclusions about the appropriate remedy if they perceived that it was improper.
Our Washington correspondent Kristen Casper has more from Washington tonight. Hi.
Hi, Raphael and Lisa. That's right. As those numbers are coming in tonight, experts here in Washington, D.C. will go through that data to help project how black voters are feeling about this current Democratic field.
Yeah, Ben and Julie, Congressman Charlie Crist tells me that his experience and his electability make him the Democrats' best shot to oust Governor Ron DeSantis.
The U.S. Supreme Court rules on a New York gun law, how it could impact other states with similar laws.
Bloomberg announced his run just 3 months ago, and he's already campaigned here in Virginia 6 times. So the state's primary is a big test.
Political expert Mark Rome is tracking the candidates.
Bloomberg's putting in a lot of face time with Virginia voters. What does this tell you about his strategy?
Well, Bloomberg has to win on Super Tuesday. One of the best places that he can win on Super Tuesday is in Virginia.
From card to digital catalogs, paperback to ebooks, American libraries turning the page to keep up with the times.
We have really had to do some pivoting during COVID.
Now, book quarantines, curbside pickups, and drop-offs, digitization. Roberta Phillips with the Prince George County Memorial Library System in Maryland says it's all quickly becoming routine. As for the future, though,
we don't know yet. So we're hopeful that it won't have any major impacts.
Back in March, Congress allocated $50 million in emergency library funding as part of the CARES Act. Now, members of the American Library Association are calling for even more federal assistance.
Ready?
Hello.
President Trump.
Yep.
Trump. We take you to the U.S. Capitol, where between votes, we caught up with Democrat Majority Leader Steny Hoyer.
The president clearly wants everybody to sing his tune. And the problem he has is some people are worried about that may be perjury, so they're not singing that tune.